You're watching Profiles with Scott Birmingham. This week's guest, Connie Wray from Alice 96.5 FM. Hi, and welcome to a brand new webcast of Profiles. I'm your host, Scott Birmingham. Well, today is going to be one of those segments where we talk about something that you're usually listening to, usually in your car, as that's when we're listening to the radio mostly, is in our car nowadays, not so much at home. So I wanted to bring on someone that we hear in the mornings in our car when we're driving around. This is from Alice 95. What's the correct?
Alice 96.5.
This is just how often I hear it. Connie Wray, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is great. Congratulations to you on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm glad you decided to come on. I wanted people to kind of match a face to the voice, and I'm sure the more you're talking, they go, is that really her? It's kind of like watching Mel Blanc when they used to show him, this is the guy who did Bugs Bunny. You know?
Right. I'm just hoping that I don't have as bad as teeth.
Let's talk about Alice. Let's talk about radio. How tough or easy was it for you to get into that station?
It was really difficult. I actually, originally I started in Seattle, and I honestly, Scott, got out of college, had a performing arts degree. I went to Cornish College of the Arts in Seattle, graduated in '95, and I tried every radio station in Seattle. I couldn't even get an overnight, I'll sift through your CDs and put them in alphabetical order job. I couldn't get my foot in the door. And by a long shot, I had a friend of a friend that I grew up with whose cousin lived out here in Reno, and I drove out here, dropped off CDs, resumes, just anything that I had, literally begged for a job, didn't get offered a job until I probably called 150 times, and 3 months later I moved to Reno from San Diego. So it was a roundabout way, but I was very, very persistent and very willing to start anywhere.
Now, you know, in Reno, I found out, I've been here now for about 10 years, and there's been quite the ebb and flow and the comings and goings of all kinds of radio stations. I'd be listening to one for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden it was gone. You weren't hearing anything. Alice has pretty much sustained itself.
Well, we have musically changed quite a bit. When I first started on the station, I always like to say we were kind of like the Sarah McLachlan station, the indie rock station. That's really changed. People's music tastes have changed, and the music has changed, but I think the station in and of itself, the attitude that we have towards our community and our dedication to the community, meaning that we're not just people on the radio playing songs and talking to you, we're out there doing things in the community. And I think that, to be honest with you, that's really what set, especially in my case, the Bill and Connie Morning Show apart, is that we're taking the station beyond music.
Tell me what kind of, with a program like that, what are kind of the inherent challenges you guys face every morning putting on a show like that?
To be original, to be funny, to come up with creative ideas, to keep up with hot topics. I have an inner struggle with myself sometimes because I look at you and what you do and Channel 4, and I see news, and I think, well, gosh, I don't really do news on my show. I do entertainment, funny topic things, but I also feel like I'm the person that you can turn to when you're like, I need a break from news.
Right.
So there's that inner struggle for me to find that balance, to be comical and not cross the line.
That's a tough line sometimes.
It is.
Because to have that, not lose that sense of integrity of what you're being, but not overly seriously or unapproachable.
I feel like I have a lot of inner arguments with myself. I don't want to come off pompous, but I want to also come off secure in what I'm saying and stand behind what I say. But I'm also the first to admit when I've stuck my foot in my mouth, which all of us have done. At least I hope I am. I'll tell you what, with the introduction in the last 2 years, I would say, really, of social media, that's a whole other aspect. As you know, the social media critics, I love that they hide right behind their computer.
Yes.
And have so many just gracious things to say. And you have an inner struggle with that. It's for every negative, you get 5 positives.
Right.
I'm focused on that negative.
Well, let's talk about the world of radio for just a moment. what was your perception of what you would be walking into as a radio personality, and some of the differences that, like, wow, I didn't think that was going to happen, or that's not the fun part. This is the fun part.
People say, oh, well, you're a DJ, and I'm not. I'm a morning show host. A DJ is a totally separate talent, and they're amazing at what they do. I don't spin records. That's not what I'm doing. Or in this case, now it's not even spinning records.
Yeah, right.
You're on your iPod, or you're doing it on your Mac. But I'm not a DJ. I'm a talent, and I'm a host, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. I studied theater. And I wanted to be able to be myself and be funny. I didn't necessarily want to be an actor, but I also wanted to take what I feel is a talent that I have to get out in front of people, and I wanted that to be used for other people, which, in other words, a lot of the public service events that we do, a lot of the volunteer work that we do, I really liked that. Mm-hmm. That was something that I really wanted to get into. I didn't realize that it would be computers and knowing this and editing systems, and that part of it was not why I got into the business. Right. And of course I wanted free tickets to concerts. I mean,
but of course.
Duh, you know. I was a music fan and I loved music, but I liked to make people laugh. That's what I wanted to do.
And that's a quality that you have. Do you find that you're always trying to do that, trying to be funny, but I want to deliver information, I want to be entertaining, not too entertaining, but entertaining so people aren't turning us off?
Yeah, you want to be engaging. You know, I always want to be, I do want to be funny, but you can't force yourself to be funny. You have to really, and I think why the Bill and Connie Morning Show works is because of Bill and Trey.
Talk about them and what that chemistry has to be like.
I call Bill is my work husband. You know, we've worked together for 12 years. We argue, we have bad days, we're crabby, we're moody, we have great highs and great lows. You have to be able to adjust to that, and I think we're really good at doing that. We have no problem with saying, you know, the guys may say to me, Connie, you're being a real witch today. Oh, okay, you know, and you have to have that because I wouldn't be real on the air, and I need to be real. I don't want to be fake. This is who I am. You know me. This is me, you know?
So when you get in the morning, is there a skeleton of what you guys want to talk about? Or as soon as you push that button, it's sort of free-for-all? You know the walls that you're able to hit and not hit?
We usually have pretty topical. We do we have topics picked or ideas for the next day. You know, we're always working a couple of days ahead. But as you know, with social media, things are happening constantly, especially in Hollywood trash. As we sit here, the big story today, Prince Harry naked in Vegas. I didn't go to sleep knowing that, but I woke up knowing it this morning, and that's what we're talking about. You know, so there is a sense of planning, but there is a sense of you've got to be on and be able to work with whatever is coming at you instantaneously.
Well, I know you guys do a lot of charity events. You go to schools. But I'm curious, when kids do approach you, what's the one comment or the one question you persistently get asked about the show?
I think a lot of them ask me how I got into radio, and what would I do differently. I always tell them that don't go in expecting that you're going to be the general manager. You're not. You know, I did grunt work. I worked late night shifts. I worked crappy weekends. It's really lonely at 3 o'clock in the morning inside of a record place where you're pulling records and you're in the closet or you're trying to get the computer set up. There's no one there. It's not glamorous in the beginning, but if you really love it, you will find a way to do it. And I just loved it. I just wanted to do it. So I tell them that whatever it is, if it's radio, follow that passion. It will happen.
Well, you know what? I want to thank you for coming on and talking about radio, and hopefully people will be able to say, okay, if they see you on the street, which I'm assuming that's kind of a weird thing to be on the radio, but you know, you guys do make enough public appearances, so you're not a complete faceless person to people.
Right. I mean, we've been here 12 years, and we're at events. You know, you may see me hosting Pops on the River. You might see me out at a Hognes Night event. You may see me at Aura inside the Silver Legacy. You know, I'm doing a lot of different things, or at Step 2 events. So, and I think that's a huge part of of being in this community. I love that we're always out.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on, Connie, and talking about radio. We're going to have you come back again. I want to get into another time women in the industry and how hard that is to move up and do that. I mean, we could talk forever.
Yes,
and think about
there's a
stuff
lot
like
of
this.
changes. There are a lot of changes.
Well, thank you for coming on, and everybody, it's Alice that we want to listen to in the morning on that drive into work, and I want to thank you for coming on very, very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. This is Scott Birmingham. Thank you for watching our brand new webcast of Profiles.